Namaste and welcome in this program of e-learning of economics of class 10. Today we learn about sustainable development. Actually, the meaning of this word sustainable is development that will continue for a longer time, because the tendency and the trend through which we are going on across the world, nowadays every country requires it a higher level of growth rate. But many scientists, environmentalists, socialists, social scientists, they are saying that present trend of development is not going to be sustainable. The type of development, the level of development is not going to be sustainable, because the way, the method through which we are dealing with our work of development is not looking sustainable. So nowadays, after the middle of the 20th century, scientists are crying, they are appealing again and again about the way through which we are going to attain our development. Sustainable development means we have to maintain our development, but not at the cost of the future generation. So here very good quotation has been written here. We have not inherited the world from our forefathers, we have borrowed it from our children. Once again, look at what nice sentence has been framed here. We have not inherited the world from our forefathers, we have borrowed it from our children. Because the meaning of the sentence is, nowadays the resources of the nature through which we are getting our support of life, our food, our shelter, our everything, that has been used up to such an extent that now the effect of our use is going to be affect our future generation, because our forefathers and we also have used so much resources, we have overused all the resources, that now the share of our children, share of our next generation, we are utilizing that resources which we are supposed that is for the future generation. So this line is saying that we have not inherited this word from our forefathers. It means the forefather have not given us the resources. They have used their own share of the resources. They have used their own and plus future generation resources, and now we are also doing the same work. So it is said that we are using our resources which is for our future generation. So what a bad condition nowadays has prevailed among the world, we can imagine it. So the concept of sustainable development is nowadays very eminent, and this is a far reaching consequence on the future generation, even on the present of the scenario of the world. The reasons, because we are saying that why we should maintain, why we should hold, why we should think about this sustainable development, because rate of exhaustion of the renewable resources are more than the rate of their use. We know that there are so many resources which are renewable, because nature itself creates its stock. After using, nature itself creates its resource stock. For example, water you use, but again it is replenished by the nature, and again it is available for the man. But the rate of the use of water is too much high with the rate of the replenishment of this water. So what can the consequence be? Consequence will be, once we will face very too much difficulty and deficit of water. As it is reported in the Science Journal that 1/3 of our India district, about 300 districts of India are facing water crisis. If the present rate of consumption will continue, then in the next 20 years about 60% of the Indian population will face severe water crisis. So the reason behind why we are looking for the sustainable development is the rate of exhaustion of the renewable resources are more than the rate of their use. We are using more, but the replenishment of the resources is slow. So what will be the net effect? Net effect will be our resource will diminish too much, and one day the situation will come that will feel severe crisis of that particular resources. And the groundwater is its most striking example. The second one example for this is soil fertility. We are using soil for irrigation, for or cultivation, but in this process the nutrition of the soil is going on decreasing and decreasing. And although nature has some arrangement to replenish and to recoup the soil fertility again, but the rate that which we are using the soil for our cultivation is too much high and with respect to its replenishment. So ultimately our soil is degrading day by day, and ultimately one day will come when our soil will raise his hand that I am not able to produce any crop. So what will be then the situation? That is why it is said that sustainable development is most urgent topic for these days. The next reason why we are looking for the sustainable development. The second reason is non-renewable resources are fixed which will get exhausted. Like fossil fuels. The rate of consumption of fossil fuels means diesel, petrol, LPG. All these things are fixed. It is said that we have a total world stock for the crude oil is only 53 or 50, approximate 60 years. We have stock for the crude oil for the next 60 years world next. But what will be after 60 years? After 60 years, we will face severe crisis of diesel, petrol and LPG and natural gases. So these LPG or fossil fuels are non-renewable resources. So rate of the consumption of non-renewable resources is too much high. So it is estimated that in the near future we are going to face a severe crisis of non-renewable resources. So in these two contexts, it is very urgent to think about and to go along the path of the sustainable development. And what will be consequence can be seen in this line. Consequences of environmental degradation do not respect natural or state boundaries. It means if suppose anywhere is crisis of something, but that crisis will not be limited to that particular region or a state or natural boundary. As we are looking in this present scenario that corona has started from China and it has taken in its grip whole world. So anything, any degradation, any environmental problem, any bad consequences nowadays is not confined with its boundaries of that particular region or that particular state or that particular natural boundary, but it is spread through whole world and with too much fast speed. And the next one, our future is linked together. Suppose USA and more industries developed countries are using more and more industries for their growth and development. So what is the consequence of that development? Our ozone layer has depleted in the space. So with that depletion of the ozone layer, not only people of this particular country which has contributed too much carbon dioxide and carbon monoxide to the environment, due to that the ozone has depleted and the layer has withdrawn from there and the ultraviolet sunlight is coming directly on the earth. So that particular country is not going to be affected only. The whole world is going to be affected by this ultraviolet radiation of the sun due to depletion of the ozone layer. So it is said that our future is linked together. So after all, in conclusion, we can say that sustainability of the development is a burning issue, because if you will not think on this very positively, very sincerely, the issue before world and the question of development is perennial, because we all think every time that we should be developed, our development should be continued, but at the same time we should adopt the way through which this development can be sustainable. Thank you, and we have just with this topic concluded our first chapter of the economics development. Thank you. We meet again in the next video. Till then, keep yourself happy and healthy. Thank you.